Start.
Good afternoon and welcome to all. I am architect Apeksha Jain, your anchor for today. I am delighted to invite you to the series of Green Talk Day 3 session organized by Prem Jain Memorial Trust in association with Sushant School of Art and Architecture during the third edition of Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav from 23rd to 29 January 2021. These insightful sessions are organized to address the importance and need for sustainability in the built environment. They are specially curated for Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav 2021 to spread awareness amongst future generations about a greener way of life. Green Talks are a series of dialogues led by green champions and stalwarts who walk the green in their daily lives and will engage with architecture and engineering students and young working professionals to guide and mentor their path in green. This Mahotsav is online for the first time, and using that opportunity, we have brought about several challenges, competitions, events, and green talks for you. During this talk, if any of you have any questions, please post in the Q&A box. I would now like to introduce Professor Neeraja Adluri, BARC Program Director and Associate Professor at Sushant School of Art and Architecture, who will also further introduce us to our speaker today, Architect Anupam Mittal, the Principal Architect and Director of Ariname Consultancy Services. Over to you, Neeraja ma'am.
Thank you, Apeksha. It is an honor to be associated with Prem Jain Memorial Trust and Harit Prem Bharat Mahotsav in organizing this lecture. As an architecture school, sustainability has been one of our core values that we want our students to imbibe at Sushant, and be conscious of the fact that any decisions that they make has an impact on the environment, whether positive or negative, so that the choices that they make are well thought of. And today's lecture, Sustainability Beyond Pandemic Challenges and Opportunities, is exactly what needs our attention as architects. So without any further delay, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Architect Anupam Mittal. Architect Anupam Mittal graduated from Government College of Architecture, Lucknow, and has professional experience of more than 25 years. He has been a leading consultant for about 500 national and international projects, which earned him several awards and acclaims. He's an active member of various forums like IGBC, CII, IIID, UPAA, and promotes green building and monolithic concrete construction technology. He coined the name RMDC, which is Rapid Monolithic Disaster Proof Construction for monolithic concrete construction, a technology he passionately followed, researched, and used in most of his works. He also shares his views on various national and international platforms and has won several awards for his contribution in sustainable and green building development and innovative approach in concrete design by HUTCO and Indian Concrete Institute, Western UP chapter. His own house is a platinum rated building, a living example of his interest and devotion to green building design. It is an honor to have you here, Mr. Mittal. Welcome, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neeraja, and thank you, Prem Chand Memorial Trust. In fact, Prem Chand Memorial Trust is a trust owned by Mr. Payal Jain, who is the daughter of Mr. Prem Chand Jain. Actually, Mr. Prem Chand Jain was the person who brought me here. In fact, my journey to the sustainability, to the green building, my interest to the green building was actually initiated after interacting with him. And that was the time when actually I thought I started thinking about it. So then I came into IGBC. I was a co-chairman person of the UP state, and passionately got getting involved the day I keep on meeting him, joining seminars and all those things. So Sushant College, thanks for giving me an opportunity to interact with the students. And this is my weakness when I'm meeting students, talking to the students. Because before I begin my presentation, I must tell you, see, we learned or we started thinking about the sustainability when we were working, like we were practicing, the The architects were having experience of 15, 20 years, 25 years. We got to know these words, though we knew that it was always there, but we never may have taken interest or whatever. But if a student, a person, an architect who is becoming an architect, getting into the profession, he or she gets into these subjects now, the world will be different. Our country will be different. And I mean, coming to the pandemic, see what pandemic has made us understand. We learned so many things. We used to wash hands, right? But we are washing hands quite often, more than what we used to, right? Agreed? Definitely, since I'm not getting responses because nobody is sitting in front of me. So generally, when I'm talking to students, I'm generally interacting in the seminar hall. I always keep talking to people, so I keep on getting the reactions. So it's fine. So washing hands, okay, fine. What about social distancing? Do we know social distancing? Do we ever knew social distancing? No, we don't believe in social distancing actually. We believe in people, you know, meeting friends, hugging each other, you know, sharing, even, I won't say sharing beer, but I'll sharing water, even sharing cold drinks and whatever, right? And what about the other thing? Like, what is the other part? The mask. Do you want to wear mask? No, you don't want to wear mask because we want to see smiles of each other. Okay, we want to see each other. So our lifestyle is not with this. No way. We are not into masking ourselves. We are not into washing hands for quite so often. We are not into keeping distance from our loved ones. No way. But this was the thing which just came over our heads. But what is this doing? So my presentation is about this only, that the beyond pandemic, sustainability beyond pandemic and challenges and opportunities rather. So beyond pandemic means it's not that pandemic is getting end or it is ended, no. Beyond pandemic means the day it started coming into our life and the challenges which are in front of us because of this much of water that is getting used, this much of mask and PPE kit and all those kind of single-use plastics coming in front of us, and the distancing, social distancing. So people who are using metros, buses, local transport must be able to understand my words very well. Are you able to sit besides? No. Are you using Uber, this ride, which is what you call it, a share ride? No. Are you able to have 3 people riding on a bike? No. So what we are doing, we are using more of public personal transport rather than public transport. We are doing whatever is not green actually. So whatever we used to learn, we used to think about green, we are doing something else. So I'll start few slides I'll share with you, which actually is about this only, just about the experiences, just to share the kind of experiences we are going through. So I'll simply come to this, then definitely you'll definitely understand what I'm trying to tell. Okay. So just let me make it once. Okay, am I able to show the screen? Is my screen visible now? Can somebody answer, confirm me?
Yes, okay, visible, fine. Sir. Please go on.
Great, great. So it is about the sustainability beyond pandemic, challenges and opportunities. Whenever there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. And when there are challenges, there are opportunities. Okay. So pre-pandemic approach, everybody know about US Green Building Council, LEED rating, about GRIHA rating, about IGBC rating, about GEM rating. So what we were doing whatever was there in front of us, whatever kind of construction we were doing, whatever the way we were living, what we were trying to do is to create sustainability within the approach we were doing, we were having, whatever within the construction we were doing, whatever the way we were living. So there was a pattern of living, there was a pattern of construction, there was a pattern of design. which we were following for the last so many years. And then what we did, we started having these rating system within the parameters of the existing system. And I'll just click one small thing here, just like to mention. So Maharashtra topped LEED certified projects in India. Unfortunately, Maharashtra also topped the casualties and COVID cases. Am I right? So what is this? This is something, if you even just see this Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, you will also see the similar kind of trend in the pandemic and even similar kind of trend in the vaccination also. This shows the awareness, this shows the situation, this shows the a kind of lifestyle which we have, okay? So at present, there are 600 building rating systems all across the world, but I'm not talking about the system. What I'm talking about is approach towards sustainability. So as I just said, I just mentioned, use of public transport. Very much we encourage public transport. We kept on talking about till February 2019, I guess. Whatever the seminars, including Jaipur Architecture Festival, you talk about any seminar, IGBC seminars, National IGBC Congress program in Hyderabad. Whenever we were there, we used to talk, we also used to listen about the public transport. So when we talk about anywhere from 50 to 1,000 cars, equivalent to 15 buses, equivalent to one train. Now what is happening? Half of the trains are running. So how many cars are getting added? I don't need to have a multiplying factor here. I need to even calculator here. You can simply multiply. And if not these things, then what is there? You can't imagine. I'm not sharing those slides which I clicked on a few days back. For the first day on, I think, August 26th, I was driving from a city towards Delhi, and on the highway, there were the entire national highway was full of bikes, full of private transport. There was no bus, nothing. Just one car with 2 people maximum and bike with no rider other than the driver, the bike, the owner. That's it. Huge number of bikes and bus cars on the road. So what is happening from the when we are talking about the public transport, we used to talk about the buses with lower emissions, CNG buses, etc. But what's happening? We are now simply coming back to private vehicles, resource management. So I just said about the washing your hands. So just 3% of the water, is drinkable, whatever is available in the world. More than 70% of that fresh water is used for agriculture. And these things, whatever slide is there about the save water, reuse, how much water do you use, drop 2 gallons in hand washing. And just see this hand washing with tap running. This was before pandemic. 2.6 gallons older toilet flush, 4 gallons in brushing teeth, 6.1 gallon in dishwashers, 15.6 gallons in showering, and so on. So these were the figures we used to talk about, that how to waste, how to save, how to stop wastage, how to recycle, how to reuse, what to recharge. But do you think the figures are same? No way. Just one thing, this washing hands, as I think must have multiplied by 10 times, maybe. Even you talk about this, okay, just a second. I'll simply go again with the slideshow. Okay, sorry. So the touch screen again is problematic for me. So resource management, reducing, recycling, reusing plastic waste. So the thrust was to use these bottles as a planter. Maybe this road is made from waste to plastic. I see just one plastic used road is just walking distance from my home in Lucknow. So I've seen that about these walls, which has been done by this filled bottles and all. So no more single-use plastic bags. No more single-use plastic bag. What is the situation now? Recyclable mask or non-recyclable mask? Recyclable PP kit or non-recyclable PP kit? Once the pandemic started, so what we used to do is just getting into all those new things. So what happened during pandemic? This was as of from January to February to March. What was happening? This was how the pandemic came. Just on click, just on in 3 months' time, it got from one point to another. And what we saw, the day we got back into our homes, our rooms, lockdowns, Janta curfew, whatever you say, we were staying home, empty roads, all aircrafts queued up, not for landing, just parked. All ISBTs just full of cars, but no passengers. Toll plazas, empty toll plazas, malls, metro stations, offices, restaurants, factories, no emission. India Gate closed due to coronavirus. This was the photograph somebody clipped. School closed. So all the students are still on this particular lecture, maybe, or sharing, you call it. So what we were doing, we just got locked up. So my daughter is studying in Pune, and she used to say, Papa, we see stars on the sky once we come out from our dormitories or hostel. In Lucknow or in Delhi, we don't see the stars. But we started seeing the stars while we were locked because entire emission got zero, it got nil, no factories, so no emission, no roadways, nothing. We were not moving out. We were inside the home, so we stopped all activities. So it was getting greener. So we should be very happy about it, na? Because everybody is getting green. No need to do anything. Rating system, if you talk about that particular time, even roads can be declared green. All air quality, everything has just got wonderful. 78 cities recorded good, satisfactory air quality index during COVID-19 lockdown. So effect of pandemic or environment was like we got these, all of these news were there. The water in Venice, Italy, canal is running clear. COVID-19 lockdown, take a look. Intense decline in concentration of particular matter and nitrogen dioxide, NO2, improved air quality in different cities across the world, reduced CNG emission, of course. But can you still stay inside the rooms, in their houses? All students, don't you want to see your friends, meet your friends, hug each other, study together, fight each other, you know? And that social system we want to take back. So this is not the approach to be green, to make a green, to just have green cities by having a lockdown. So we can't do that. Wildlife used to get so many different kind of pictures shared, yet some different kind of animals, and they were roaming around in the urban areas. Fish, look, you can see in the clear water, the turtles, even this flamingos flying to Indian beaches. The beaches were never, even looked around. And then we started everything online. So studying online, shopping online, ordering online, movie online, playing online, even surprised to see that even within the family, we were playing Tambola and Housey online. Everything was online. So this was not the real life. This was the life we saw, and I'm sure none of us wish to see this kind of life or this life again. So how these things are working now? Everybody in a family, if I just see a small example, a family of 4, husband, wife working, 2 kids, school-going kids. So they may be having two systems that time. They must have bought another two. So what we started doing, everything against the day the pandemic reached to a certain height, certain level, and we started looking for the normality, mentioning about the original lifestyle. We started buying systems, video games, console. This is the lockdown period. Growth in weekly sales volume of various digital products in February and March 2020. You just see laptops 15%, 28%, 8%, 41%, 44%, 180% in 12 weeks. Smartphones, how things are happening, effect of pandemic on human. So this is the three things which we talk about is the masking, about the social distance, about washing. Once we talk about this masking and washing and social distancing, what we used to do, we used to have long queues with a distance of 1 meter from the other person. So taking a lot of space while queuing in metros, while by seat sitting, one central seat empty. So less people, sitting inside. Masking, even see vegetables we started masking. Okay, it's a fact. We started masking. Human, we completely masked, hair masked, complete PPE kit, the screens, hand gloves, and whoever is coming to meet you, or you're roaming around, you're traveling to, I'm going to the airport, my car is getting washed every time by the people around there. And what they use for the washing, it is not water. They clean with the sodium hydrochloride acid 1:10, like 10, every 10 liter of water is having 1 liter of sodium hydrochloride acid, which was again getting into drains. So a lot of soaps were used, a lot of sanitizers. None of this is green. Everything is adding to the pollution across the globe. So before I come to the post-pandemic approach, let me sum up the kind of things which are happening. So we used to see the dustbins around us. So they were filled of other things. Now you see the garbage, the solid waste, the dustbins with full of masks, full of small cloth part pieces, PP kit. And the worst thing which I noticed is, like, whenever I go to the airport, almost while traveling again for the last couple of weeks, there's a separate bin for the disposal of PP kit because it's supposed to be infected. So every car is getting into the parking lot is washed. And now just if you see the numbers, I'm not sharing those numbers. If you just search it, the kind of passengers traveling, every passenger in the flight is with the mask and with the shield, and 1/3 of the passengers with the PP kit. 1/3 means the central seat. Then you talk about paramedical staff. Every test they do for the COVID, every single person is wearing a PP kit, and they throw in front of you in a disposable bag, and it is being on. So see the quantity of these things must have multiplied by I don't know how many numbers. So what is now? Now, after these clear skies, after this starts viewing terraces in northern India, it is back to a normal kind of situation, but the pictures are different. More cars on the road, more bikes on the road, more pollution on the road, because everybody has to work. We have to live, livelihood. For the livelihood, we have to go to the offices, the workplace, but we can't use the public transport, or we cannot use the public transport the way we used to. About the numbers, about the way, even the local buses, local trains in Mumbai. If you see the metro, Even sometimes the doors are not getting closed because of the people. And now, not even, I think, maybe 30% of people must be using the public transport. So the number of cars, the emission has gone multiplied by transport. What is the opportunity now? I'm just taking the challenge and opportunity together, because by the time I keep on telling you about the challenges, you will see that okay, we don't see an opportunity. But we are architects, or budding architects, so we can definitely, we are not designers of automobiles, but few of you may go into automobile engineering. Few of you may go into some other field after doing the bachelor's course of 5 years. But electrical vehicles, renewable EV charged with renewable sources is a coming thing in future. Annual vehicle emission by fuel type per 12,000 miles, C is CO2 annual XPM. Gasoline vehicles, EV charge on grids, and what is next? EV charge, electrical vehicles charged with renewable resources. This is going to come. This is be there. So what is an opportunity? That we have to work more on renewable energy resources. It is whatever we are doing, we have to multiply by a few folds because of the present situation. We have to really work on even larger scale. This is an opportunity. Take it as an opportunity, but it has to be done. Energy. Now, the global coal production was estimated to have increased by 2.7% in 2018, with the annual production of 8.1 billion tons in 2019. The increase was mainly driven by the three major coal-producing countries such as China, India, and Australia, which together accounts for 70% of the global production. However, due to and continued lockdown and other government policies during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the global coal market is likely to fall from these many billions to this many billion in 2020, and so on. Why? Because after looking at the scenario and the situation, this is the lockdown period. You can see the kind of difference in the the standard way of, or the way which we used to use the energy. So what is the challenge? Plan for returning to the workplace. The workplace are now back to normal with some changes and challenges. People are working with while maintaining social distance at their workplace. But some people are still opting for work from home. Now I'll come a very specific point here at my observation. In my office, say for example, 50 people are working and 10 people are working from home. So since pandemic, not a single day was there when 100% office is working from the office. So they are not coming to the office. Definitely they're not using the vehicle. They're not coming. But when there's an office, a house closes in the morning, husband, wife, both goes to work. Kids, they go to schools and the whole house get locked. So there's no energy consumption in the house. And school, offices are definitely consuming the energy. The difference is, now I'll come to the office part. Office is open, entire system is running, air conditioners and lights, server, everything is running. But even 5 people or 10 people are not coming to the office, the workplace will have the same energy, but those people are working from home, so their house is also open. So I'm sure electricity consumption is increased. So this has resulted in increase of energy consumption in terms of electricity. What is the opportunity? So opportunities, again, see the percentage, like the total renewable energy potential in various sources in India is 249,188 megawatt. Till last year, we used to do. Not last year, when I'll call it last year, don't take it as a 2020, okay? Last year means 2019. Let's take it like this. So till last year means 2019, we used to have solar power for sure. But now, because of the demand, because of the, the situation, we have to multiply the solar energy. So we are designing buildings in such a way that anyhow, we have to have the surfaces more towards south, so that we can have larger surfaces towards south, so that we can create a lot of surface for the solar energy. So if you see the total renewable energy potential is larger from the solar power and the wind power. Definitely there's a limitations. Then the small hydropower project power, biopower, agro is reduced, big power cogeneration, and municipal solid waste and industrial waste. So these are the kind of opportunities people are working on. We used to know just two things if you talk about in general public about wind. Maybe even wind power was not been known to people so often, but solar power was definitely known to, I think, most of the people now. But these are the areas where you can use wind power, small hydropower, big power, agro, big power, cogeneration systems and all. So India is planning a green city powered by renewable energy in every state. This is the situation which has come. So 2021, India to have 1.75 lakh crore investment for renewable energy sector. So this is again for you. As an architect is required everywhere. You need to put your services everywhere. You have to work on this so that this can become a key area for you to work. Water usage. Please wash your hands. Wash your hands frequently. Washing your hands and keep washing your hands. So water, then it's soap, then these sodium hydrochloride acids, and all these things getting added into all those things. The challenges, you can see all public vehicles are getting cleaned. Every workplace has been getting washed, even sprays on all the shelves, stores, airports, aircraft. Even your vegetable markets, currencies, everywhere, every person. So what is the opportunity? We used to say save water. Now we have to design every place, every unit, every building to save first, recycle more, have different kind of gadgets, fixtures, which is reducing the the water consumption, low flow faucets, low flow aerator, low flow toilets, shower heads, up to 2.1 gallon per minute reduction, 1.0 gallon per minute reduction. These are the reduction. This was there. The thing is that this is opportunity means it is multiplied by the factor. So we have to have this is in our life for now. Waste dumping. This was the most critical thing which we talked about is the increased consumption of medical stuff such as diagnostic supplies and infectants and ventilators and N95 PP kit has significantly increased, putting the medical waste on the rise. You can see this. This is something which everybody can just see. Your everything getting packed and reaches you. So the challenge is only 12.8% recycled their old office equipments. Now equipment is increased, electronic waste is getting increased. And what you have to do is you have to redesign things, you have to work on this new area. It's a big area. Sustainability as a subject was there, it's not always there. And I'm just looking at the watch so that I should not jump over the time. And you guys can stop me or you can interrupt me anytime if I'm taking a lot of time.
You can continue.
So this waste dumping is getting increased day by day. And this is a challenge which is there in front of us. And what is the opportunity? See, when I'm talking about the opportunities, I'm just telling you the things are there. What we have to do is we have to visit yourself, you have to visit the upcoming trends, you have to visit the policies. As a student, you have to visit. As a faculty, if the few faculty people are there, they have to visit the latest trends and the challenges so that you can redesign your courses. You can rethink about the the post-graduation courses, post-graduation related areas where you can work. And being an architect is always a creative person, is always a thinker, always has a reason to redesign things or design things or rework on things, or ability to change the world. So now at this stage, if you talk about what is stopping us from recycling e-waste, 83% I don't know where to recycle waste. It's a fact. 60% I did not know e-waste could be recycled. 58% says I don't want to pay to have my recycled waste. 52% say I'm worried I'll lose my personal data. 2 years back, I was traveling to US to to San Francisco to meet my friend who was working with Google. When I told him that I'm coming to meet you, he said, please bring all the iPhones, phones, laptops, iPads with you, which you are not using. I said, they're all dumb. They're just not functioning. Cannot be even sold, cannot be used. He said, just bring it. We have a system where then all the pieces can be given and you get some credits and you can buy things. There were a few years back, I remember when there was I saw an ad in the newspaper. They say, don't waste me. Me means that newspaper. Don't throw me. I'll collect. I'll be collected, and I'll be paid for it. So, the systems were there. Systems are there. Now we have to actually restart those systems, those functions. That how to reduce the waste, how to use it. Now, since 2009, more than 90 million tires have been diverted from landfills that would be as tall as 30,000, 30,000 this tower. It's like multiplied by this height. So there's a lot of things which can be shared. But then I'll come to the another challenge, which is may be a different part of the architectural aspect, but I'll talk about as a human being, as a citizen. Mental health became a challenge, and all of us, we stayed alone. A few of us, they could not move in time, so they used to stay alone. A lot of pressure on this medical staff. So why I have just added this slide, because last year, when I was the 1st of January 2019, and I took the first common platform I was sharing with my entire team, I talked about health and happiness. When I was talking about health and happiness, I talked about mental health. I talked about happiness. So this is interlinked. So this particular pandemic had this invisible challenge of mental health, and group most vulnerable, elderly, health professionals, women, homeless, members of the LGBT community, everything. These are the parts. And health concern, extreme fear, uncertainty, changes in sleep and eating pattern, worsening chronic health problems, worrying about own and loved ones' health. Advisory: train medical staff to tackle more dilemmas, avoid false recurrence, collaborate with NGOs to reach out to the survivors, etc. Approximately 70% of the young people reported feeling anxious or anxious about COVID-19. Why I'm talking about this is that while we are working or studying as a student, we must keep our mental health well, and we should work on the happiness factor, that whatever comes on your way, whatever challenges are there, we have to live our way, we have to fight it. And the opportunity is that the environment will be, I'm pretty sure it will be a better environment. Physical, social environment, if you talk about the what determines the state of health. So the social environment will be better. We have to work on that. Lifestyle, health behaviors, medical care. And if you talk about the benefit from daylight and lighting system designed to increase alertness, enhance experience, and promote sleep. this is where our intervention comes. Like if you are able to give natural light, a good light to the people, natural light, lifestyle means these simplicity, but more of a environmental friendly comfort, then definitely the mental health will be good, the happiness factor will be better. And I wanted to close my presentation at this particular point because I always want to talk about health and happiness because it matters. It matters a lot to us that we should definitely work on this. So thank you very much for your patient hearing. And I'll get back to the organizers and definitely open for questions. Okay, am I visible now?
Yes, sir.
Why so
Thank you so much for this delightful session, sir. Does anybody have any questions? I see Ashi Mittal has raised her hand.
Please.
Neeja ma'am, would you like to speak to your students and ask them if they have any questions at all?
Sure. Guys, do we have any questions? So I think I have a question, sir. So like, waste disposal again, like, when we're actually talking about construction, maybe not very specific to like, post-pandemic situation, but then like, the whole idea of exploring the circularity of materials in construction is not as much as it should be in India. So like, if you could just talk about a little input into like, what are the latest things that people are looking into in terms of circularity of material, because we do have a lot of landfill that is created because of, construction debris, and
if I
to it.
If I say, note my words, if I say that a complete construction of a building, maybe 10 lakh square feet building, can be constructed when there are hundreds of trucks goes inside for the construction purpose with the materials, and 100% trucks come out empty and there's no debris. Is it possible? It is. It is. It is. I'll tell you. This is where our role, as an architect, as a professional comes. First, reduce the number of materials to be used in the building. Once I was getting introduced by, I think, Apeksha, you introduced me, or Neeja, you introduced me. So you just read something, I don't know you grasp it or not, that RMDC, Rapid Monolithic Construction Technology, this concrete buildings without bricks, without plaster, this is the first 10 buildings designed by me in India. And now there are hundred buildings are getting constructed into the same. So what my idea was when I started, I designed the first building in 2009. And my idea was I want to reduce the materials to be used for the construction so that the usage will be higher, less number of materials, and there should be ways so that everything can be used in the building. I'll give you just two examples. I think you'll appreciate that. One is we use concrete block testing blocks there at the site. So we use every concrete block. And what we used to do by that block, we throw it in debris, or we maybe fill that grounds and all those things. In my sites, the instructions are clear. Instructions are there that we have to keep all those blocks there, and we use all the blocks where they're at the site because they are the very solid blocks, concrete blocks. which can be used for paving purposes, for edging purposes, for all those things. You talk about the reinforcement pieces. Once you cut the bar, there are small pieces. They're sold on to the kabadiwala for that few rupees a kilogram. All these pieces can be used for small items, like, which is, you have to plan your construction in such a way. I did it. That's why I said that platinum rating is not that difficult. We use each and every material to the site. We plan the construction in such a way, design things accordingly, so that in the cycle or the process or the sequence of activities in such that whatever has been produced, that can be used after that. Okay. Even for the kitchen, for the toilet, you put a sink or a wash basin. You cut a stone slab. You can cut it properly. You can get it properly. That can be used for escape. I'm giving just few examples. 100% means 100%. You can 100% whatever you get. Definitely, I'm not talking about the packages, of course, but definitely those can also be worked out. I'm talking about the material. So this is the thing where we used to work, and we have to work. There's no option. If I'm able to answer you, I don't know. You got my answer your way or not, Nirja?
No, yeah, but like, I just wanted to see like where do we stand? Like, in an Indian context, where do we stand? Like, because we do see a lot of research happening across, like, I understand, like, it also comes to an individual when how you approach your site, how you approach the whole construction process on your site as an individual. But then, but again, we are using up something which we intend not to waste. But then in terms of like, research of material as a whole, like, when the concrete or like, the broken brick bats for that matter, how, I just want to know, like, to what extent is India progressing in that direction?
I'll tell you. There are two things. One, the policies are there. Initially, there was no policy. Now the policy is there that government ultimately they want us to create such things, construction technology and the materials. There are two things basically. One is construction technology, other is materials. So now everybody is discouraging wood products, the natural wood products. Every company, every manufacturer, they are coming up with this mark that we are green because we are producing from the waste material. We stand better. If I talk about in the previous from the previous situation, we stand better because of two things. One is intentions. Like one of the leaders in this was Mr. Shri Premchand Jain Sahab also, and the people who actually worked on this. Government policies for green rating system, government is giving you more FAR and some tax rebates and all those things to encourage. See, first you have to encourage, so that the fallback is that you come up with the technology, you come up with the material. So we stand better, but it's longer to go.
Yeah, that answers my question.
So I have a question, adding on to Nirja ma'am's question. We have already so much pre-existing construction debris that just goes into landfills. So I don't know if there has been any research, but it isn't definitely not significant enough that we could use that. Like, instead of creating newer materials, newer things, that just keeps on adding to our palette. How about we use the pre-existing materials? That is the construction debris, and there's like so much of it.
Yeah, if you are talking about the construction debris, see what is happening now, that lot of people are basically when they are when they are doing the construction, they plan in such a way, because again I'll come to the policy. We used to just dig the ground whenever you want to, okay, and excavate the earth and throw it, right? You used to see this. Now it is, you can't excavate, it is not allowed. You have to take a permission, you have to pay for that. We people, we want that thing in front of us. No, you guys, you have to do it. Otherwise there will be a challan on you, you will be penalized. So we don't listen otherwise. We Indians have a very strong, this thing that unless you've been forced to do. So the thing is that once you have to have some penalty have to be paid, they don't do it like this. They talk to people, they get connected to the people who are generating waste. So they buy the waste. So what is happening? There is no money exchange. There is just a transportation thing. That at one side there's a debris which are coming up, and there is a place where you have to fill it up. So they exchange those things, and when they're excavating, they see that where the earth is required. So instead of excavating and dumping that waste, it has been mutually used because of the policies which has been placed in place now. You know, everything is again a bit of policy, a bit of the consciousness, a bit of pressure, then things are coming up. I see Spaljan also joined.
Yes, Anupam, I apologize. I've just been jumping in and out of Zooms today. I'm really sorry, but it was a fantastic session. I did listen in for 20 minutes and I dropped off. We're having some network issues in the office today. I'm not sure what is going on. Thank you, and thank you for a wonderful session.
I was remembering sir very much today.
So, yeah, you can see him behind me.
I was telling everybody that he was the man behind my first introduction to the sustainability, and he actually pulled me here. So now I'm never going back.
Is that right? And you're doing such amazing work, such amazing work. Honestly, thank you for inspiring everybody. I see a lot of crowd here, a lot of students. I'm very happy. Apeksha, you're doing a great job. Thank you, everybody. I'm sure you've already spoken about a little bit about the trust. Everybody knows, so I'm not going to bore anybody with it. But I think it was a wonderful session, and we're so happy to have you here.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Payalji. Thank you, Premchand Memorial Trust. Thank you, Apeksha, Nirja, and all the people are here and giving me an opportunity to speak up and sharing my thoughts with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a great lecture and it was very sensitized, and I'm sure it had a great impact on all the students present here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mittal.
Thank you.